going to start by creating my base. This is going to be for my turtle design. So I have the slab that I cut out last Friday before I left, and I am going to get it smoothed out and attached to my base. So I'm using the same beveling tool I used when I did my teapot to get a 45-degree angle on each side. Flip it. I'm just using some slip on this brush to smooth out the texture left behind from the canvas mats when I rolled my slabs. I forgot to do that before I left on Monday. And then I've got my rope to just finish getting this smoothed out. To start scoring and slipping. Get everything trimmed up, and I'm gonna let it sit while I teach a class, and then I'm gonna come back and finish blending together all the edges, and then it will be ready for its decoration. I have my slab attached to my base to form my cylinder. And now I'm just working on smoothing the edges and on the outside as well. Normally, I'd like to put a coil inside here, so I'm going to try that, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to really get it in there because it's so steep. To make sure that this edge stays round on the outside too, on the top, and make sure it stays circular and doesn't get distorted, as I have the top of the lid, this little old plastic lid that I used to cut the shape for the bottom, and I'm using it on the top to make sure that this continues to stay round as I apply pressure. So I've got this coil slipped on the inside, and now I'm going to come on the outside on the bottom and smooth that out, and then the last thing will be to finish smoothing this edge where the beveled edge came together. the only thing left to do is to smooth this edge where the two beveled edges overlapped. And in some places I got it lined up better than others so that there wasn't a hump. But what I'm doing now is I'm kind of taking my fingers and supporting it on the inside and then supporting it on the outside while I blend the other so that it doesn't distort the shape of the cylinder too much. And this is just a slow process to make sure that no damage happens to the slab as I blend it. Now I'm just going to finish smoothing everything out where I just blended the seam. Some of the clay's kind of bumpy, so I'm just going to smooth that out, make sure there are no cracks so it can set, and then it'll be ready to decorate. Time checking that the shape's not distorted before it dries some more. Alright, now let this dry a little bit so that it'll hold its shape when I'm decorating it. Alright, so I've made my two cylinders. One is for a vase and one is for a mug, and then I'm also done some slump and some hump molds for my other pieces. So here is a slump mold made from a tray. This is the same tray that I did for a previous piece. I liked it a lot, so I decided I would do a different technique but on the same type of tray so the trays could go together if I wanted to. And then, so I left this over the weekend in here, so I'm going to pop it out, and what I've done is I've done saran wrap and paper towel to keep it from sticking, and then I can just lift it like this and pull away the newspaper, or in this case paper towels, and have the shape. So what I'm going to do now that I have this removed is just let it sit up a little bit longer, make sure everything is hardened enough that I can smooth out the edges before I start doing the design on here for the tray, because it's still just a little soft, so I don't want to start cleaning it up yet. Alright, so that is that piece, and then I have some bowls as well. Alright, I've also made some bowls. I only need one, but I've never done slump or hump molds for bowls like this before, so I'm not sure how they're going to turn out. So I've made 3, and then I have some ideas for extra designs if all 3 turn out. So what I'm going to do is smooth the inside of these and then pop them out and smooth the other side because they're a little bit more firm than the tray was. And then I'll let them sit for a little bit while longer. And then these I am going to do the technique where you carve into the clay and then rub either slip or underglaze into the design and then wipe it clean. So I'll etch those designs in, and one's going to be a sloth, and then if I have extra, I think the other one will be a either a howler monkey or either a howler monkey or a spider monkey. I haven't decided yet. Alright, so I'm going to take care of smoothing these out and popping them out. So let's see, first let's do this hump mold because I'm worried about it drying too much and then getting too tight and cracking. So I have a sponge here that I've been soaking in slip water, and what I do is I just squeezed all the water out before I use it, so it's just barely moist, because I don't want to make this too soft, but there's some bumps and whatnot from the forming process. This was way harder than doing something like the tray that I've done before that's much more flat. And I want a nice clean edge here, or clean surface, smooth surface, because I'm going to be etching in the designs and then filling them with either the slip or the underglaze. But because I'm going to do that, I don't want all these little bumps and cracks that it may accidentally soak into, so that's why I'm trying to smooth these out. And I'm trying to do it on the bowls that it's humped to, because I'm afraid if I do it after I take it off, that without something to support it, it'll crack because it's dried that much. And most of these spots are smoothing out quite nicely, but there's just a few stubborn spots. Use my fingers to finish smoothing anything out that needs a little more pressure. Alright, and then I'm going to go and pop this out. And I did the same thing. I had saran wrap and then paper towels. So that's pretty nice. I need to clean up this edge and I need to smooth this out. But I want to go ahead and get all of these popped out first, and then I can worry about finishing them up. This one is really smooth. Having it as a slump mold instead of a hump mold made it a lot easier to get the exposed surface clean. What I'm worried about is, like, this one has a pretty nice surface for doing the etching into. But I'm worried that with this one, because it doesn't have that clean surface, that it'll be harder to get it smooth, but we'll just wait and see. But like, this doesn't even barely need to be cleaned up, just a few random little spots. I'm still trying to decide how I want to finish these edges. They all have rough edges, and then like this one overlapped. So I don't know if I want to trim it or what I want to do, but I figured once I have everything smoothed, then I could figure out what I was going to do with the edges. All right, I'm going to let this dry like that. I'm going to let basically all of these sides that were against the molds, I'm going to let them kind of sit for before I clean them, because they're a lot softer on that side. And since there's nothing to support them in the same way now, I don't want to try to smooth them out too much before they're ready and then destroy the form. So these are some of the things that I'm learning about as I do these new types of molds that I haven't done before.